Hey guys, Jeff with OptionBoxer.com. So it's been about a month since I started trying to grow a small account using the wheel strategy on Robinhood. So I wanted to go ahead and show you today what trades I've made, what positions I've closed, and what positions I'm planning on opening. And then kind of wanted to show you two tests that I ran. In the last video I talked about, I always wanted to keep the cost as low as possible and continue to drive down that cost basis. But as I was looking at my Robinhood account, I didn't know exactly when would be the best time to buy shares. And I want to own as many shares as I can so then I can increase the dividend. And I liked Energy Transfer specifically because it paid such a high dividend. But I wanted to figure out when is the best time to buy shares. Obviously, it makes sense when price goes down, try to buy the shares as low as you can. But I'm kind of limited in the capital that I have. I only had $1,500 that I put into the account. And I'm only adding $100 each and every month to the account. With the last video, kind of my plan was to only put $100 in per month until I had enough to be able to both get the cash secured put income and have 100 shares that I could sell a covered call on. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to continue to add the 100. I think I can do that. I think that's more than reasonable. I think that's manageable for most everybody that would see this video. And so I'm just going to continue to put 100 in. That way I can always have money there in case I do get to a point where I've bought as many shares as I could. I've got 100 shares and I just want to make sure I'm continuing to add to my buying power each and every month as I can. Now, of course, the income that I make, the dividends and the options income that I make on the strategy here, all of that money will be, of course, used to buy more shares or to facilitate having the buying power to sell cash secured puts. But I wanted to just continue to do that. I think that's a small change. And again, I think it's realistic for everyone. If you feel differently, you can certainly let me know in the comments. But with all that, let's go ahead and take a look at Robinhood really quickly. And I'll show you the things that I've done. And then we'll transition from there. I want to take a look at Thinkorswim. And I'm doing this strategy in Robinhood, but I want to take a look at Thinkorswim as well to show you the two different approaches that I came up with. When we last visited about the wheel strategy in this account, I didn't really have a specific plan on how I was going to buy the shares. I basically just wanted to lower my cost whenever I bought shares. But we may get into a bull market and price may never come back. And if that's the case, I needed to have some sort of a plan to be able to get more shares. Otherwise, I buy 5 shares. Bull market runs for a year and I end the year with 5 shares that I started with. And so I didn't want that. I wanted to be able to buy shares. So I think I've come up with a plan on how to do that. We're going to take a look at Robinhood and I'll show you what I've done at this point. Okay, so right off the bat, you can see that I made 73 cents in interest, which is nice. I was able to close that cash secured put that you see here for $3 and put all that buying power back into my interest account, which it didn't sit in there for maybe a couple of days, but it was able to boost it up. I think whenever that happened, I only had like 30 cents or so. And then I put that money in there for a day, maybe 2 days, and it was able to boost it up to the 73 cents. So I'm certainly happy with it. And then as time goes by and I have more buying power available, I think I can get that over $1 and that'll be an extra $1 per month. For long, it'll be $2, $3 and so forth. You can see I attempted to close that put at one point and I just wasn't able to get filled. I think I had it for 2 cents, $2. And I was able to get filled for $3. And I'll show you why I closed that here in just a second. Price had kind of started to go down, and then the last, I guess, Thursday and Friday this week, we just had a huge rally in the overall market, and that drove prices higher, which I probably would have been able to get filled for 2 cents or $2 if I had just left it there. So it's $1 loss, but no harm, no foul. You can see this 99 cents. Robinhood had some kind of special. They would give me some cryptocurrency, although I didn't really want this cryptocurrency. So they gave me $1. And by the time I cashed, I was only able to get 99 cents, but that's basically another $1 into my account. I wasn't able to roll the position. I thought early on, before I filled this trade, I'll just take this trade, roll it to the next month, and just keep the position going. That way I don't lose that $3 of opportunity there. But that's all the changes, and then the only other thing that I haven't showed you in the last video was that I added $100. You can see total I'm up by $16.73, a little bit misleading. $3 or so of that is from a free share that I had, and then $1 of that, of course, was that cryptocurrency that you saw. But with that, let's go ahead and I want to show you the two different tests that I ran. First one we're going to look at is just approaching this as every month I'm just going to either sell a cash secured put, sell a call, or I'm going to buy 5 shares, no matter what the price is, no matter where things are. And I ran this test starting in 2019, and then I ended it in June of 2020. And I did that purposely. As you all know, the market rarely does what we want it to. We get 6 months into a wheel strategy like this one, and then suddenly COVID hits and the market falls to pieces. My thought process was I want to see what method gives me the absolute best cost basis. Because I want to keep that cost basis as low as possible, but I also want to buy as many shares as I can so that I can improve my dividend as much as humanly possible. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through the spreadsheet. I've done that in the first video. I just wanted to look at kind of the result of the back test. So I wasn't able to quite get to my income goal with only 211. More than likely I would have received more dividend income in this, so I might have gotten to my goal. But $211 in income is certainly nothing bad. But because of the COVID pandemic, in this particular example, you can see the total cost I paid was $2,238. And that's basically this adjusted cost times the number of shares, which is 200. And then the share value at that moment in time was $8.27. And that's how I calculated this, just 200 times 827. So the gain and the loss at the end of the period was minus 584. And that's really not terrible considering COVID basically wiped out the entire market. I wanted to see which method made the most sense. So that's the method where just every month I bought 5 shares. If price went down considerably, there were a few instances where I bought 10 shares, and then one instance after COVID happened when I bought 20 shares. Let's take a look at the other test. This is a little more complicated, but you'll notice adjusted cost per share was higher. So I took in less income, or a little bit less income. My adjusted cost per share here was $11.75, whereas on the monthly basis, it was only $11.19. Now, to be fair, I bought 20 shares after COVID happened, and after COVID happened, Energy Transfer fell down by maybe 70%. I mean, it dropped off a cliff. And so I was able to buy 20 shares or possibly even 40 shares, all bought after the COVID pandemic. So it's a little bit, the data is a little bit skewed, but this is the method that I'm going to attempt going forward, this level. So I was able to finish with an adjusted cost per share of $11.75. But so long as we don't get another fall off the cliff decline, then this is going to be, in my opinion, the best way to trade the strategy. And so I'm going to show you what I did here. I just basically took a Fibonacci retracement drawing, and I just altered the levels to be to just say 5, 10, 15, and so forth. The idea here is every time price dropped 5%, I would buy 5 shares. And if it dropped 10%, I would buy 10 shares. If it dropped 20%, I would buy 20 shares, and so forth. And I did that so that I could determine which method made the most sense. Right here, the total cost at the end of the period was $2,350. The share value at the period end was $1,652, which meant I was down $698. Compare that to just buying it monthly, and I was only down $584. So really, either way is going to be acceptable. If you're watching this video and you're thinking about doing something like this yourself, either scenario would probably be more than acceptable. For me, I'm going to use this level system here, and just whenever price trades down by a level, I'll buy 5 shares. If it trades down by more than that, I'll buy the appropriate amount of shares based on the number of levels that it has dropped. All right, now that we've taken a look at those 2 tests, let's go ahead and take a look at my official spreadsheet for this account. You'll see my realized profit, like I told you at the outset, looking at the Robinhood chart. It's a little bit less, $12.26, 4% to my goal. Going forward, I'm going to trade it using the levels. And I think the most appropriate thing now would be to take a look and see what my next steps will be. So let's go and take a look at Energy Transfer. The first thing I want to do is, since I don't have a cash secured put open and I'm not making any income at the moment, I want to look for a put that I can sell probably about a month out, preferably less than a month out. Currently my cost per share is $12.37. My adjusted cost per share is $11.14. Take a look at what kind of premiums we can get from selling a put in Robinhood or on Energy Transfer. My adjusted cost per share is $11.14. So ideally, we'd like to be able to get something lower than that so that we can continue to drive down that cost basis. But it doesn't look like that's really going to be possible. But our cost per share on the shares that we bought, the 10 shares that we do have, is $12.37. So as long as we're below 12, it's still realistic, although $11.50 I like a little bit better. Let's just go out, because 9 cents, it's not quite enough. Let's go out a little bit further and see what $12 offers us here. That's 33 days, so about a month. I really don't want to go any further than that. We could go to $12.50. You subtract that premium from the strike price, and we would actually be lowering our cost basis. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to sell the $12.50 take the 22 cents and we'll see if we get filled on that. Let's go ahead and take a quick look again at energy transfer. And so you can see I've already got the levels drawn on the screen here. I bought shares right about here on 426 or so when price had fallen down. It didn't fall quite to that 10% level that I was discussing, or that I drew on the screen here. Right now, I'm not looking to buy any shares. I already bought 5 shares and we had this dip. But I am looking to sell that cash secured put. May not get a chance to buy more shares unless the market turns around and declines from here. But I think I'm going to sell the 1250 put. That's kind of the only thing that I'm going to do at this time. In fact, we can just do that together here. Okay, so we've got our order on the books for 23 cents. If we do get a little bit of a price move down, we'll be able to get filled for a little bit more. I just wanted to share with you those 2 tests that I ran, trying to come up with the most appropriate game plan, both enter the cash secured put or the covered call, and to get as many shares as I can so that I can get the biggest possible dividend. In the face of this bear market, you never know when the dividend is going to start to get cut, so I want to get as many shares as I can, get as much income out of the dividend as I possibly can. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you are sticking with this video series. Until the next video, God bless and take care.